In the Bridgman method, the first step is to start with the proportion. It begins with a process of straight lines. It is a simplification. Obviously, we draw a central line to be able to more or less have the head equated. In the center of the head, draw the eyes, the eyebrows, and the nose. We already know these proportions. This method is in George's book on how to say heads and faces. So, this version that I'm here drawing is the simple version. First, we have to conceive the head as a mass, how Bridgman proposes as a cube, not a sphere, not a circle, like a cube. In a way that is a little more realistic. Think as if we were sculptors. In this moment, I'm just doing the simple steps of a frontal head and outlining it. So it's a very simple method, and it is very practical. For me, it is the best of the methods that I know of for drawing heads or the full human body. Here in the second step, we are going to draw the secondary forms. I'm just adding some extra shapes to give it a little more realism. These are some images of the drawings that come in George's book, and one of the reasons why this method is not so popular is because he does not take a step-by-step approach. He teaches you a lot of ways to draw the head. In fact, in the book, there are different versions on how to draw the head and its elements. So what we have to do is see those drawings, analyze them, and based on that information, make our own approach of drawing the head. That is what Bridgman proposes to us on how to draw. This image is of Luca Cambiozzo. He was a Renaissance artist. He also drew everything in cubes. So this is an idea that comes from back in the day. Bridgman was trained in France by Jérôme, the most important artist of his time, and then went to New York to teach his method. But he develops it and took it further. So that's why Bridgman has great importance. And also, if you can tell, the drawing looks very solid. It feels structural, unlike, for example, the Loomis or Riley method. I don't know, those always give me the impression that they are very two-dimensional. However, the Bridgman method feels completely three-dimensional, even though it is not. In this last step, we develop light and shadow. Although Bridgman's book addresses this issue, it does it in a basic way. I didn't see a reference to draw this head. I already know the method and I started to build this head. Just like the lighting, it's also something I'm doing of imagination. I'm imagining that the light comes from above. So I'm shading these areas based on the shapes. These are some of Bridgman's drawings. In his books, there are no finished drawings. There are just syntheses of drawings and abstractions. So that's why many people believe that he couldn't bring a drawing to a finished. But here are these two drawings as a sample of great level of his draftsmanship. It's just that he was teaching and for him construction was more important. The shading is something that he does mention, but as a two-tone system. In his book, you will not find finished drawings. He knew the importance of structure. Shading is something we develop little by little. So as I mentioned in his book, shading comes in a simple manner. This shading that I am doing is based on what he proposes in his book. As you can see, this is a made-up head. And it has a sense of solidity even, though the shading is also very simple. It's something I don't see being achieved with the Loomis method because it is easier to describe perspective with a cube than with a sphere.